What's up, y'all? It's Truth Tiger, and in these times of today, men have become so emasculated, so whipped. Just man, it's like what happened to the days of like when you had a man, you had a macho man, you had a passionate man, you had a man who had courage, you had a man who didn't care about what all these other people are trying to say. You had a man who was independent. You had a man who thought for himself. You had a man who didn't care about the rules. You had a man who made his own rules and did what he wanted. Like really. And like what happened to that? And like, look, we got to follow the rules of God and stuff. But when I say follow the rules, I mean the rules of society and the rules of the matrix. Whereas most men are so like you follow the rules of the matrix, you follow the rules of society. You're not courageous. You don't think for yourself. You don't bust out. And I mean, even on the physical level, beyond the mental, on the physical level, a lot of guys' testosterone is lower. A lot of guys are not in good shape anymore. It's just like, man, like I know good times and technology and civilization and, we got all these houses and this heating and these grocery stores. And I know that'll kind of make a man soft, how could it not? But I don't know, man, just the way society is, I feel like it's also like a man who thinks for himself, especially, like that's a risk to them, especially in the mental plane. A man who can think for himself and be courageous in how he thinks, and like they don't want that. The Matrix does not want that, because that man is going to see through all the BS. That man is going to say no to society and no to civilization and no to all the politics and all the games and all the BS. That man is going to say, I will not participate. That man is going to say society is going to be very different now and I'm going to make it different. That man is going to say your stupid arbitrary rules, I don't care about them and I'm not going to follow them. They're not grounded in morality. It's just bureaucracy, That's what that real masculine man is going to say and is going to do. And they want to shut that down. They don't want that man rolling like that, acting like that. Like the Matrix wants to shut it down. Society wants to shut it down. The system wants to shut it down. They don't want like a free man like that. They want you as a man to be like whipped by your wife, or you're super into some sort of, even religions. Like religions effeminize men a lot. You're this man and you follow these religious rules and you're all, I'm sensitive and I'm in the religion. And a lot of these religions effeminize men. Like just think about it. Think about it. Just think about it. All these religions effeminize men. And look, even the professional world effeminizes men. Now your job is you're a lawyer or whatever, and you're just finagling and you're dealing with drama and, you're sitting in some office. You're not like chopping down trees or anything like that. You're just kind of, civilization. You're living this soft kind of cushy life, and the thing is, there's going to be two big groups of people that are also going to try to stop you from becoming a masculine man as well. There is going to be the jealous Jezebels, and then there's going to be the effeminized Jezebel men too. And both of those groups of people are going to try to take you down. The Jezebels, they are female narcissists. It is unfortunately very, very common in our society. And, I have a lot of love for women. I think women are great, but unfortunately the vast majority of women are in this Jezebel thing and want to emasculate a man and hate men and whatever. It's just what it is, unfortunately. And, they are going to do everything they can in their fiber to be jealous and to try to tear you down as a man. And they are people who seek like societal power and whatever. They want power, they want control. Men are kind of inherently more bigger and more powerful, whatever. So they're jealous that you have that. It's whatever. It's a whole weird thing with them. I don't know. They're just destructive people, and they try to target men with their BS, I think also is part of it, And then you have the effeminized men who the Jezebels probably got to make them like that, but Also, it's like to actually like to be a man, to be courageous, to be tough, to step out, to be willing to not fit in, have your own opinions, to be your own person, to be independent, to live your life with passion in your heart, to have a free mind, to have a good leading mind, to do all that stuff. These effeminized men, they see you and they're like, you now because we're these effeminized men, you can't advance, you can't move forward, and I can tell you in my life it's been these effeminized men who've attacked me much more. The Jezebels have attacked me too, don't get me wrong, I've had to deal with them plenty, but it's these effeminate men, and not to get too personal, but my own father is one of those kind of men, and he was effeminized and whatever, and he was determined to make sure I ended up that way too, and not on my watch, but it's a lot of people like that. And if you really look at the politicians and the business people and the lawyers and whatever, and especially religious leaders, they are almost always these kind of effeminate men. Think about it. Especially religious leaders, but leaders of education, leaders in government. Think about it. They're these weird, prissy, effeminate little men, and you go back to, I don't know, ancient Rome or whatever, a lot of the politicians and the senators and the lawyers over there were probably these little prissy, effeminate men deep down too, and they're bossed around by women, and I think for a man like that, it's like they want to seek that comfort. They want to stay on the tit forever, and they don't want to have to do hard things or stand up for things or really anything. They just want to ride society to the top. And then women don't respect men like that and take advantage of men like that, and it's a whole weird thing. It says in the book of Revelations that, the 666 beast, there's a woman in scarlet who rides on top of him. Yeah. And I think that's what happens is these Jezebels, all these men who are they're doing all this civilization and this work, and they're all super into it. It's like, who ends up really taking reaping their rewards? It's going to be women who they give their power over to, their wives, whatever, but these women who got them whipped, and they're going to give their power over to them, and then, they're going to ride on top of the beast and get a free ride, essentially. You know what I mean? They're just going to manipulate, put themselves in the right position, and then one of these kind of whatever enabler, feminine, whatever kind of men is going to, enable her, and she is going to ride on his back and not have to do actual work herself. It isn't going to have to do her share or her part, so yeah. And I mean, the whole thing is muddled and complicated, and like I know now with feminism, women have jobs and all this stuff, and I mean, I'm just kind of like, this whole thing is muddled and the whole thing is confusing, but I see this like going back like so far. Like I see it going back to like ancient Egypt. I see it going back to, back to ancient Rome and ancient Greece. Like I see it going back like that far, It's nothing new. It is nothing new. This is just kind of what happens in civilization, and the thing is like, a true masculine man, he doesn't need anybody. He's independent. He's just gonna rock with himself, and if he has friends and he has connections, good. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But he's not going to like want to like do this thing where he's going to suck up to try to please the group or please the herd. He's not going to put his ideals aside to make the rest of the group happy. He's not going to let himself. He's not going to, on a lot of levels, put his own self-respect aside. He will not put his self-respect aside and let him be ashamed or emasculated or humiliated by this society that will, on some level, want to emasculate you, shame you, humiliate you on some level. Society wants to do that, to break you down, to make you into a good worker slave, a good worker robot, Society kind of does that to people, and it's always happened like that. And again, a strong man, not going to fall for that. Not going to do it, And the thing is like, a good, strong man is so fun to be around. It's so like, society needs that anchor, it needs that anchor of a good, strong man, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. And they're trying to deny the need for that anchor. So even though they hate this strong man, they still need him. They desperately need him. So it's a very weird push-pull relationship. But you got to develop into that, like a masculine, strong man is not born, he's made. So you've got to go through life's hardships and life's trials and build yourself and do the things you have to do to get to that level. And they don't want you to get to that level or to do the things you have to do. They desperately want you to stay stuck, to stay dependent. Dependent emotionally, dependent financially. I mean, I'm dependent on society in a lot of ways. I'm not going to say I'm not, but they want us to be as weak and dependent as possible, so we're not going to pose a threat to them, and we're not going to pose a threat to society. And I just think they're just jealous too. They're just jealous of like a masculine man. They see that and they're just like, we have to shut it down. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, because it's like, being a masculine man, it's like you say, F the rules, It's also like, I'm not going to candy coat and sugarcoat and say everything in this flowery, nice way. Sometimes the men are talking and we will say some foul things. We will say some nasty things. These are truthful things. These are things that need to be said. But in terms of this whole, you have to be nice and you have to be really soft and really gentle, and this whole thing where you have to talk to everybody like they're an emotionally disturbed toddler or whatever. I don't even know, but this whole thing where everything you're going to say is going to hurt people's feelings and, this whole kind of thing we got going on in society like that, where everyone's all oversensitive and everything you say is going to hurt someone's feelings and everything you say is mean and you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't, and it's not just women doing this, it's men too, Don't bring that up, don't whatever, like, nah, we're going to talk about it, we're going to do it, like, F that, And that's the thing, like, they don't want us to speak free. They want to censor us. And they want us to be really, like, these scared little, we have to keep it in the bounds. We don't want to upset them. That's not a strong man, masculine way to be. We don't want to upset society, And deep down, that's like, as a man, it's like it is kind of your duty just to be kind of like, you know what, F all this bureaucracy, F all this BS, we're going to move forward, we're going to do what we're supposed to do, You have to have that in you, where as we have these very rule-following kind of men, and you follow the rules, you don't do that, that's going to upset them, it's like, nah, And look, I'm not saying be mean, like, be nice, but when it comes time to, like, actually getting down to business and having real talk about stuff, like, that real talk needs to happen, and it's weaponized sensitivity, it really is, because I think with a small child, they won't understand, but, like, kids are more sensitive, of course, but not that much more sensitive, you know what I mean, like, they are, of course, but it's like, it's more like they're developing. You don't want the wrong thing to get in at an early age, you know what I mean? It's more like that. You don't want to, like, put bad programming in when they're very young, because that bad programming will get very deep in, so you want to make sure to give them good programming. Like, you don't want to, like, have some big fight with your wife or, I don't know, your husband or whatever. You don't want to have some, like, big fight in front of your, like, small child, you know what I mean? Like, or you want to, like, yell at them or something. Obviously, but, like, you can talk to them. They're not like everything you say, oh, it's so mean, you're hurting my feelings. But that's what this is a big societal guilt trip. And it's not new. It's been around forever. But it's this whole, oh, that's mean, you can't say that. Oh, you have to toe the line and sit on a fence and everything. You can't just blaze your own path and be your own person, no. And the kind of men that try to do that, get shot in the ear. You know what I'm saying? The kind of men that do that sometimes have to dodge bullets. And sometimes they don't dodge the bullet and it hits them. For real. And it's always been like this. It's always been this way. And look, there's a lot of guys who want to act like these big macho tough guys, and like there's a lot of guys who want to like do a live action role play LARP and pretend to be a man and work out and I'm gonna shave my beard with a hatchet and all this stuff, and all those guys are all total pussies, weak people. When things are really going down, those kind of guys are never tough. So like there's a lot of guys like doing this kind of fake thing and who ain't men at all, ain't nothing, you know. So don't even get that twisted, you know. It's not about having these big muscles or being this whatever kind of guy. It's about how you think and about how you move and about having self-confidence. And for me, like I'm having to recover because I didn't used to have self-confidence. I used to be effeminized. I used to be a little F-U-C-K boy, you know what I mean? I really was. I'm going to be honest, you know? I'm not going to lie. And I was not standing on my own feet, standing on my own frame, being my own person, you know? I wasn't independent. I was dependent, you know? And it's like the thing. It's like I'm going to be what? A dependent man? A dependent adult? I'm going to be a dependent grown man who needs other people to emotionally support him or needs people to financially support him or whatever. Nah. I'm my own person. I have my own. I do my own thing, you know? Nah, but they want to keep you in that. They want to keep you in a childlike, underdeveloped state too. It's not just being effeminized per se, but it's more of like they want you to act like you're a little kid or you're like a teenager forever, you know? And that's how a lot of guys are. They stay in this dumb teenage mentality and don't really think things through. And the thing is, guys like that are dumb. They're easy to control. They're self-destructive. Like, you see it all the time. So we're going to drunk drive our car the wrong way on the highway, or I don't know, you know, you see a lot of stuff like that too, where, I don't know, you see it with maybe like, I don't know, like Logan Paul or Jake Paul or whatever, where it's like a mentality where they're just going to act like a dumb teenager for the rest of their life, you know? But here's the thing, teenagers are what? Scared to talk to girls. Teenagers feel very unconfident. Teenagers are not comfortable in their own skin. They don't know who they are yet, you know? And they want to keep you in that kind of state, even if they can't effeminize you per se. If they can just keep you a dumb, underdeveloped, childish, like, you know, like you want to act like a teenager for the rest of your life kind of guy, if they can keep you there, they've done their job, because you're not going to be effectual and you're still going to be lorded over by women on some level, you know, for real. And you're just not going to be able to like do anything actually that is effective or of value if you're stuck in that kind of state of mind where you're just acting like, you know, a freaking teenager for the rest of your life, you know? So if they can't effeminize you, they will try to infantilize you, you know? Effeminization or infantilization. You know, pick your poison. And yeah, you know, it's just crazy, you know? It's just crazy because it's just like, I'm just realizing like, I'm a man. Like, I don't have to be tripped out about these women or these girls. I don't have to be tripped out about these other hater guys. I don't care about any of it. But like, there were so many people along the way, so many enablers, and so many people that were just trying to not make me into a man. And the truth is, most of them, 90% of them, were not women, but were men, effeminate men, like my father, effeminate male teachers, all these kind of whatever, you know. And then not even that, but a lot of guys who were in that teenager mentality and they're not really standing up big on their own 2 feet. They're more kind of running around like they're a little boy in their life. And, you know, them kind of dudes aren't going to really, I mean, them kind of dudes are better off than the Jezebels. I mean, the guys who are just kind of like childish, I would say it's a lot better than the Jezebels, because whatever, they at least get you, whatever, they understand it. It's a better track, but still, it's just like, man, you can't find any guidance. No one's showing you how to do it. If you were blessed to have a good father, then you'll know this stuff, but most of us do not have that blessing. So we're trying to like figure this stuff out on our own, and I've had to recover from defeat the infantilization and the emasculation. I had to become less effeminate, less sensitive, less up in my feelings, less like whatever, less just, I don't know, pissy, neurotic, whatever. I'm sorry, ladies, but it's the truth, less neurotic and more just like able to be happy and not tripping and not like tripping about what other people are saying. And then just like growing up too, getting my stuff done, getting my chores done, prioritizing, having like mastery. And that's one more thing I want to talk about before I end this is like having actual mastery as a man. I don't have it yet, but I am working towards it in pretty much every facet of my life, trying to become masterful at things. And I would say I'm not at a masterful level necessarily, but I'm more of a working journeyman kind of level in a lot of the stuff that I do. But like I'm always trying to learn new skills, get good at things, figure out how life works, figure out how the game works. I'm just trying to like get on top of things. Like get very high on top of things. Now, I'm not just like riding on its back a little bit. Like I'm very high up there, way up high, way high up on the top of the mountain in terms of my perspective, in terms of where my mind is, in terms of accomplishing my goals, and just in terms of who I am, like spiritually and stuff like that. Like I'm trying to really get high up on that mountain, but most men are not even on that quest whatsoever. Most men are either these effeminized, Jezebel, passive aggressive, pissy, annoying, whatever, jealous of you, weird kind of dudes, we're all, you can't say that, whatever. There's a lot, like, think about it. Really think about it. Like, the amount of, like, actual men that are Jezebels is crazy. It's crazy. It's, like, the same amount as women almost. It's nuts. The amount of these passive-aggressive, effeminate, jealous. I mean, if I get some play with a girl, one of these dudes is jealous. She likes you, but not me, whatever. It's like, yeah, because she's a female, and she likes a male. But you're putting off, like, a female. There's all this female kind of energy is coming off you, though, and it's like, it doesn't fit. It doesn't work. It's not what she's looking for, But they get jealous and whatever. They might even get jealous if you, like, lift weights or something. Some of them are little weightlifting divas, too. Some of them are little gym divas, little gym whatever, little gym boys. It's good to work out, but whatever. Some of these guys are whatever. They got a lot of vanity about it. They're weird about it, whatever, you know what I mean? They're putting themselves out there in a very feminine way and how they do it. I'll just say that, like, yeah. Yeah, but, like, it's so many people, they're going to see that, they're going to get mad, and I don't know, these Jezebels are going to get mad if you act like a man, like, how dare you have your own opinions? It's just like your independence and the fact that you're not, like, bowing down to all this stuff just gets them so mad. They bow down too. It's like, because I bow down, you have to bow down. It's just that at its core. And it is not good, But yeah, to really like gain mastery and to be like fatherly in how you move and how you do things and to just like move like a mature gentleman, like that's what I'm going for. I'm trying to be like James Bond or something, I'm trying to really be like that slick, smooth gentleman as best I can. I've got ways to go, and I don't know if wearing a suit and tie or drinking freaking, what's he drinks? What does he drink? His little cocktails, whatever, martinis. I don't know if wearing suits and drinking martinis is really my thing, but in my own way, though, I want to achieve that mastery 100%, like, because I can give things to the world, and do things for myself and all that, And then also, like, there's just something fun about a man, like when, like a dad with the kids, like you're having fun, like a masculine man, like we know how to have fun as men. We know how to have fun, how to let loose, have a good time, chill, Whereas in the feminine side, it's more like you're all getting together and gossiping, and it's not always a fun time and whatever, Yeah. But in terms of just like being able just to get together with people, have fun. I mean, right now I don't have many people to even get together with really, but have fun by myself, I guess. But like just to be able to have fun and enjoy life, that is kind of more like, I don't know. It's just, I'm trying to think of how to put it, but there's like an adventurousness. It's like, man, we're adventurous, we're fun, we're willing to make a mess, we're willing to get a little dirty, We're willing to mess things up or break things a little bit if we have to. And there's something about it. It's just like we're not tripping about it. We're not tripping about it. We're willing to let it be what it is. And we're not so like, we have to control every little thing of everything, you know. Because again, like needing to, all this stuff about trying to control everything and trying to control every little detail, that's not like masculine energy, you know. That's not the energy of like a masterful man, you know. Man chills and is like, nah, you do you, I do me. I'm not trying to like control anybody, you know what I mean? We can all be free and have fun, and like there's just something amazing about that. And again, like don't get mad, but the feminine energy is more about control and controlling every little detail, and everyone conforms. Like, you know, you don't think for yourself, and that is more what the feminine kind of thing is. It's like you just take in the programming, you just follow it, you know. I mean, again, think about it. Like, women are more compliant than men. They are. A lot more. A lot more. You know, if you take everything away, like, you know, women are not going to outright challenge things as much. They're going to do things under the surface, passive aggressive, whatever, but on the surface, they'll just kind of comply and go along with things and not stand up for things. And then it's more of a crab bucket mentality too, where it's like, because I'm bowing down, you have to bow down too. Because I'm getting cooked, you're going to get cooked too. It's that crab bucket kind of mentality, you know? And that's more in the feminine. Whereas the masculine's like, we're going to work together, we're going to help each other out, you know? It's more like, we're going to make a little dog pack, we're going to make a little team, and we're all going to kind of work together and roll together and rock together, you know? That's more what it is. And it's like, we need that back. We need that back. Like, we need masculine men back in this world, in this country, in this society. Like, we desperately need masculine men to lead the way. We need a strong masculine men to come back and to lead the way, you know? I'm trying. They effeminize the crap out of me, but like, I'm pushing back and I'm saying no, and I'm not doing it, and I'm not being it. They infantilized me too and tried to make me all childish and immature, and I said no. And look, some of this was my own doing too, you know? And like, one point I want to make also before I end this is like, for a lot of these men who are either infantilized or effeminized or whatever, like, that's kind of the path of least resistance. For the effeminized men, it's like they want some like kind of mother figure they can leech off of. That's really what they want. They want a mother figure they can leech off of. Some of the infantilized men are kind of the same way, but it's more just like with the men who are more like babyish, it's like they just don't want to grow up. They don't want to be responsible. They don't want to have to like deal. I don't want bills, life, or a job. I don't want to have to deal with that. You know, they're in that state, and you know, they're just like, they don't want to have to like, you know, grow up and cope with life and do their laundry and, you know, whatever, be responsible. You know what I mean? Like, and so there is things in their part, on their end. It's not all just society. They're making a choice too to do that. You know, they're making that choice. It's not just the Matrix. They're making that choice, and it's an easier choice. And because think about it, if I was a feminine Jezebel, I could go on here, I could cry, I could manipulate these women to try to donate money to me, and I could make myself this big sympathy case, and I'm the sad, I'm the pitiable, pathetic panda bear, and I'm so sad, and I'm whatever, and they go, oh, sad, poor boy, oh, you know, and I could do all that stuff, you know, and I could get with them, and I could do it. I could also be just an immature guy, and I'm just shooting off my mouth, doing dumb stuff, like being abrasive, you know, putting out that shock content, and you know, like I could be immature with it too if I wanted as well. But you know, like I'm gonna be mature about it, and I'm gonna like grow toward that. And look, I have my moments where I'm not always fully grown up and stuff. You know, I'm working on it, but it's like if I did that, I could gain from that. I could reap the rewards of that. I could benefit off that, you know, but I'm not going to, because I know that in the long term, I will not benefit off that. And I won't grow, I won't learn things, I'll just be stuck, you know? I'll just be stuck, and I won't like who I am as a person. I won't like that I have to either be whatever, some big pity baby, or I have to just be some whatever, some crazy clown who's gonna do whatever to get attention, you know. I don't want to be any of that. I don't want to be any of that whatsoever, you know. I want to have my own and be my own, and I want to teach that to other people, you know. And like one thing also is like a good strong man will protect women, will protect children, and he'll give them that leadership and that guidance that they need. Men too, you know, because our society is full with misguided people. Everybody's misguided. And that strong man, that masterful man, that wise man, he will bring that guidance back to society. And he'll put that guidance out there, and people's stuff will be set right. They won't have this crazy matrix programming, insane stuff going on in their mind, destroying them. They'll have good programming, common sense programming, programming that's inspired by God. They'll have that good programming, of a good man, and of a strong man and of a masculine man. Look, also one more thing I'm going to add in. I'm dragging this on, but that good strong man, the masculine man, that masterful man, whatever, that's a man who is good with God too. That's a man who is a priest of God. That's a man who's close to God and who knows God and who can be close to God and who can commune with God and connect with God. And then God can teach that man, and he can teach other people that, and he can bring guidance to the world, and he can do good for the world, and he can help those around him, and he can make the world a better place, and he can do like acts of love and acts of kindness, and he can do a lot of good, genuine things, being in that state, so it's like society's not going to do well. It's not going to last much longer if we don't have some wise men, some strong men, some masterful men, some men who are just masculine, Things are just going to get more disordered, more silly, more bureaucracy and unnecessary rules, more control, more BS, and again, also there's no like pretending to do it, or we're going to like fake it, or I go to the gym so much. It's like you got to actually be thinking like a man, having that masculine way of thinking. And, I don't know, but like, I'm just noticing it, that it's just gone from society and it's just not there. And I'm like, man, this is really, really missing. We need this. We need this badly. We need this desperately, and I don't care who you are, man, woman, whatever. We all know it. Deep down in our heart, we all know it, that like we need this badly. And if we don't have this, like people are going to continue to lose their way, and people are just going to become sadder, more depressed. Communities are going to be more broken. Marriages are more broken. Families are more broken. Everything is just going to get more and more broken if we can't have some men step up and be men. But the thing is like, I say that, but society wants to stop you, And here's the thing, Dr. Phil or whoever is going to tell you, you got to be a man and blah, blah, blah. Like a lot of that stuff, that's not really about being a man. It's about being a meal ticket, paying bills. It's about putting up with a Jezebel, putting up with a manipulative woman. Because like, I want to circle back to it. Like in society, most men will end up being manipulated or used by a woman on some level. On some level. That will end up happening. Not all men, not everybody's going to end up like that. And there's a lot of men that are going to do the opposite and leech off women, manipulate women, whatever. But on some level, a lot of men are going to be used by women for resources, support, whatever, emotional support, playing therapist, resources, whatever. It's just kind of the order of things. And if you start being a strong man, you're going to break that. And they can't keep doing that. And they don't want to lose that gravy train. They don't want that gravy train to go away. They don't want all the attention and emotional support and money and whatever. They don't want all that to go away, But once men start being, which I don't know, but I don't have hope for everybody, but I do have hope for a small handful of people, and that might just be enough. But once that small handful of people starts really being, who they are as men, changes will start to happen. And, you know, I think it's starting already. I do think it is. But, you got to know that, like, society is trying everything they can to stop you from becoming a man. And you kind of got to isolate to do it because your homies are going to be jealous of you for being mature. All these Jezebels are going to be mad at you. Man, that's bad. We don't like that. Stop it, It's what it's going to get like. And this is not new. This is not something that came about with like feminism or whatever. This has been going on forever. Forever. And all the institutions of society on some level want to emasculate men, make men more compliant, more subservient, less independent, less thinking for themselves, less smart, less courageous, less willful, just to break the spirit of a man down and use him. Use him for all his resources and turn him into a plow horse of sorts, And that's what they want to do. Yeah, I think I'm going to end this, but thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you all. It's much love for you all. Truth Tigers out.